Oh, that's right. Like, everyone who knows me, they're like, but you're so great with kids. You get to work with kids. Yeah, that's why I don't want them. Working with kids was the best birth control ever. They're great, but they take so much time. And unless you're really dedicated to being a parent, no one should have them unless they are really dedicated. Luckily, everyone I know who has kids that I'm friends with, because I would not associate with people who weren't like this. They really love and are dedicated to their spouse and their kids. Not always the full time, but you know, yeah, people in my life, that's just how we roll. Like, I literally would not be able to sit back and tolerate it if one of my friends married a guy like that. Like, I would say, you are being a fucking idiot. You should not marry a guy who you settled for. I'm 31. I may just live a very single monastic life, but as I've said, you know, when it comes to dick, you've seen one, you've seen a million. It's not that exciting. Guys, get it together. But you know what? It may never happen, and it may happen, and I'm gonna be fine either way. I've always wanted to be married and be a wife, but you know what? I'm not gonna settle and compromise, and I'm glad you didn't either, because more women need to hear this, because women are fed such bad misinformation about children. They end up unhappy, and they end up fucked over. And now, this is not an attack on anyone who wants kids. By all means, have as many as God will give you, as many as you want, if you want them. But if you don't, it's okay. And if you're not sure, you do not have to figure it out now. And if people start talking about your biological clock, for the love of God, there are so many options now, and technology is great. People are having babies in their 50s now. And even if they don't, there's always adoption and fostering. And they always need people for those. And if you're like me, and I feel this woman 100%, kids are a huge, huge responsibility, and a lot of people don't realize it, and they don't want it. I was a long-term substitute teacher. I saw it. I met people who wanted the aesthetic of a family, but do not do their part. They do not stay in my life for long because they're shitty people I want nothing to do with. But it's very prevalent in our society. And it's something I have no tolerance for. So, like you, I think people need to leave us alone. I always told people very early on that I'm child free. They're like, no. Like, if I change my mind, I might adopt or foster, but you should be okay with that not happening. Now, there's some people I've talked to who are, you know, a good bit older and they had kids from a previous marriage, but in those cases, their kids were usually like high school aged, or middle school age, to where I really wouldn't have to do that much. So it's a different situation. But yeah, just be honest. I mean, you know yourself, and don't let these idiots tell you otherwise. And kudos to you for not doing that.